What is going on, guys, and welcome back to another video made by your VJ Dragon Master. And in today's video I'm going to be going through the basics of Blockbench modeling. Now this is a very special video because I'm not doing it just for fun. I'm doing it because I have homework, guys, so please leave a like in the comments if you want me to get a good grade. Also leave a like in the comments if you want me to get a bad grade. So as you can see, there are a lot of tools, but do not be alarmed. We're not going to be using all of them, just the main ones, and I'll be going through just the main ones because I only use just the main ones, okay? We have the move tool, resize tool, rotate tool, pivot tool, vertex snap, and knife tool. I personally do not use the vertex snap or knife tool. Those are they're not too complicated to follow, but it wouldn't be very useful for beginners. Over here we have the add cube, add group, and toggle more options. Let's start off by the add cube. Now this is where it all starts. Just a small single cube. Yeah, it's just a cube, nothing more to say on it. But the addition of more cubes and the rotation, the resizing, that is how mobs are made. That's how creations like these dragons are made. But don't be scared. Everyone starts off somewhere, so we're going to be working on a very basic entity today. Okay, first of all, I need to go through the basics. This is a cube. I'm on the move tool. I can move it up, down, to the side, to the other side. So anywhere on the X, Y, and Z axis. So I'm going to move it back down because that's where my little boy belongs. Then we have the resize tool. I can use to make it bigger on this side, this side, or that side, or the top or bottom. Same premise through all the axes. You can edit them. We have the rotate tool. Same premise. If I rotate this way, it rotates that way. If I rotate this way, it rotates that way. If I rotate this way, it rotates that way. Then we have the pivot tool. Now, the pivot. This is going to be quite the analogy. Let's say the pivot is a vacuum. We're not a vacuum. Let's say it's me, and the cube is attracted to me, so it follows me wherever I go. If I'm here, the pivot is going to move around from me. If I'm near the pivot, it's going to move where I am. If I'm inside the cube, the cube is going to rotate like this. So the rotation and movement of your cube is dictated by where the pivot point is. If I move my pivot point all the way over here, it's going to rotate from that point. I think you get the premise by now. So I'm going to move the pivot back down. Over here we have the add group option. Now what is a group, you may be asking? A group is basically, well, it's actually better if I show you. I'm going to make another cube and I'm going to move it. I'm going to move it over here. But I want them to move together. I don't want one of them to be lonely. So I'm going to click add a group. Now groups basically act as backpacks. Or let's say in this scenario, a car. These guys can't travel together at the same speed, but if I put them both in a car and try to move them, they're moving at the same speed. I can rotate them at the same speed, and I can resize them at the same time. That's the premise of groups. You can have multiple groups, you can have groups inside of groups inside of groups. But that's not really important until I show you why. Okay, so let's clear our workspace. For my example, I'm going to be making a dinosaur, a very, 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 very basic bare bones dinosaur. It's going to look very ugly and very bad, but it's going to help you guys see the premise of these materials. Trust me, I can make better dinosaurs. Trust. Okay, to start us off, I'm going to make a group. Now, why did you start off with a group, you may be asking? Well, that's because it helps me manage what I'm making. I'm going to have multiple cubes everywhere, so it's best if I start off by grouping them together first. So, I'm going to start off by making the dinosaur's head. Now, you don't have to start off with the head. You could start from the legs, the body, the tail, or whatever you want it to be. But I like working with the head because I feel like that's what the rest of the body is going to be shaped by. Okay, so I have my head cube right here. I'm going to move it up because my dinosaur's head is not going to be down. I'm gonna go for a Tyrannosaurus-esque look. So I'm gonna make this longer and oh, one more thing. If you click on a cube or a head there and you right click, there are a bunch of options. This gives you the ability to copy, paste, duplicate, group elements, move to group. These options right here do not matter at the moment, but they can be useful later on. So I have my very long cube right here. I'm gonna duplicate it to make the snout for my dinosaur, like so. Then I'm gonna duplicate this cube to make it fit in through here. Wow, guys, this is really amazing. As you can see, my cube has turned into a very ugly looking triangle for the moment, but that is subject to a lot of change. Now, his triangle is pretty cool and all, but it's not a dinosaur in any regard. Oh, this is where its nose is gonna be, but where are its eyes? Let me go on top of that. Instead of duplicating, well, I'm not duplicating a cube because I really don't want a nose-shaped eye. I'm gonna start fresh. I'm gonna get my cube, I'm gonna move it here, move it here, move it here. I'm gonna put it right here. I'm gonna make it a bit more flat, and yeah, that looks pretty good. But how do I get the eye on the other side? Well, I could duplicate it and move it like this. And this works, but it's not exactly helpful. Like, it's not really helpful in the slightest. As you begin to create more complex shapes, it begins harder to move it around like that. So instead, I opt for clicking on transform, flip. Now this will flip your cube on any axis that you choose. So let me just say the x-axis, and wow, it's there. Wow, my head doesn't actually look that bad right now. That's really nice, guys. But let me try rotating it. Ew, it looks like it's rotating from the jaw. That's so disgusting. I want it to rotate from, like, you know, the center, like a real dinosaur does. So to do so, I'm gonna click on my pivot point and I'm gonna move it up. Now, when I rotate it, it looks like it's rotating like a proper dinosaur, not from the bottom of its head, which is really weird. Another way to do this is to click center pivot, and this will center the pivot to the middle of the cube. But it only works on like very specific shapes, like for example, like a square blockhead, not really for more angular, more less Minecrafty models like this one. So you just have to do it the manual way by just moving the pivot point to where you want the head to rotate from. And yeah, that was all for today, guys. I'm going to be coming out with the part 2 very, very, very soon. So stay tuned for that. And yeah, that was all for today. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and comment down below your ideas in the description. And I'll see you guys for some more. Bye bye, and don't forget, dragons are cool.